Mondello Park in Southern Ireland, the venue for the fourth round of the Formula Vauxhall Junior Championship, a new series for 1991. All the cars are identical Van Diemen-built chassis with similar Vauxhall Nova 1600cc engines. The series so far has made for some dramatic action, with 3 different winners from the first 3 rounds. David Cuff is one of them. He's managed the first, second and third in the 3 races so far this year and heads the championship points table by 8 points from Marco Vignali. But the circuit at Mondello Park has been the main talking point for the youngsters.
We never adjusted the car at all through testing. The car was fine from the start. We just learned the circuit. We found the most advantage by just learning how things went, you know.
It's very much like a kart track. It's more like what I'm used to, and the car was good all weekend.
I've had a lot of problems in testing. It's a short circuit, so I thought it would be close, but I feel confident enough, and hopefully I'll pull it back in the race and a good start. Good start's always important here, so hopefully we'll do well.
Pole positioned car number 7, Dario Franchitti, with the David Leslie prepared car. Franchitti started racing in karts back in 1981 and has won the Scottish Karting Championship twice and the UK Series once. Alongside of him, Mexico's Freddie Van Buren. Moving back to the second row, Irishman Kevin McGarrity from Belfast. He must be one of the favourites here, 3rd in the championship points table at the moment. Alongside of him, Brazilian Carlos Alexandre de Souza. Another man to have come from karts de Souza. He's with the Dennis Russian prepared car, and there's David Leslie, casting an eye over his charge, 5th quickest in practice and the current leader of the championship, David Cuff. And alongside of him, Marco Vignali, 2nd in the series, 6th quickest in practice. Both of these 2 men have a lot of work to do if they're to hold on to their position at the head of the points table. Confirmation of that grid now then. Dario Franchitti and Freddie Van Buren on the front row. McGarrity and de Souza on the second row. Cuff and Vignali on the third row. Less than a second covering the first 10, and a tremendous race in prospect. The drivers wait for the lights to change to green. They do, away they go. A superb start from Franchitti and from McGarrity on the second row of the grid. Somebody left in the middle of the pack there, and I think he may have got collected. Franchitti it is out in front though, McGarrity in 2nd place. 3rd place is Van Buren as they head away now out of the first corner, and that's David Sonnenscher, the man who won the 2nd round of the series. He's already out at this stage and he didn't score in the 3rd, and that will drop him well down the championship table. Now here are the leaders. McGarrity putting a lot of pressure on the leader, Dario Franchitti. And Franchitti it is, the Scotsman in front, the Irishman behind him, and the Mexican Van Buren in 3rd place. But these 2 at the front, Franchitti and McGarrity, have made a little bit of a break as McGarrity there tries on the inside of Franchitti, and it looks like he's through. So McGarrity through into the lead, pretty much on home territory here as they go over the start-finish line. And McGarrity will take a lot of stopping from there, but Franchitti is not going to let it go for the want of trying. Tremendous dices up and down the pack. Marco Vignali, I notice, is already up to 5th place. And here comes the race leader then, McGarrity in front. 2nd place Franchitti, 3rd place is still Van Buren, and Franchitti has not given up hope of getting that lead back. Kevin McGarrity in number 4, and a lot of pressure on him now. He desperately wants to win on home ground, and Franchitti, the man that really wants to stop him. Dario Franchitti led the first round of the series. He had a commanding lead, and then all of a sudden a problem with the car meant that he had to drop out, and he failed to score at Silverstone. Trying to make amends for that here, and tries to go around the outside of McGarrity. Surely that's not the way to do it. He gets very sideways there. McGarrity leaves him as little room as possible and hangs onto that lead. But Franchitti is far from given up, but that has allowed Van Buren to get a little bit closer in 3rd place. Marco Vignali now up to 4th. Vignali with the yellow and black Metro Breakers sponsored car in fourth. But here comes Franchitti to have another go at the race leader McGarity. Right on the tail of the leader. Looks to the inside. Many of the drivers have been saying that Mondello Park reminds them of kart racing tracks. Most of these guys came from kart racing, and you can see a few of the tactics being used there. As McGarity tries to defend the line and keep Franchitti behind him. Over the line they go, nothing to split the first two. And Franchitti tries again. It's almost as though he looks as though he has a little bit more straight line speed. Coming into the first turn there, he goes wide now, switches to the inside. Can he get alongside of McGarity? No, has to drop back. And Van Buren really is on challenging terms with these two now. The way that they've been scrapping at the front has allowed Freddie Van Buren to close right up onto the tail of Franchitti. Franchitti, the nose of that car, right up tight against the gearbox of McGarity's in front of him. Looks again on the inside there, that's not the place to do it. And he'll try once again to get a slightly quicker exit onto the start-finish straight. See if he can pull a few more revs and pull alongside of McGarity coming into the first corner. That looks to be the place where he has the most opportunity and the best chance to get by. Here he comes, he's a little bit further behind this time. He might not be close enough to have a go. And decides to hang on for one more lap. And David Cuff has come up a place now, past Marco Vignali. And Vignali has slid wide there and may lose another place, this time to Luca Alessandrini. Here come the leaders once again. You can see Vignali, and he touched there with Alessandrini. Luca Alessandrini now up to 5th place, Vignali back to 6th. And this the dice for the lead still. McGarity driving as defensively as he can without attracting the attention of the stewards. And Franchitti just looking and hoping for McGarity to make a mistake so that he can find a way to move back up into that lead position. Now he can't get much closer than that to McGarity's car as they come onto the straight this time. What can Franchitti do? McGarity's going to stay on the inside and make him go the long way round. Franchitti leaves his braking as late as he dare, but he's got to watch out for the man behind of him, Freddie Van Buren, and also David Cuff, the championship leader. The spectre of Cuff in Van Buren's mirrors as he looks to the left and has a quick look to the right as well, decides to hang back a little bit longer, and here he comes on the inside of Van Buren. And I think they touched as well, and David Cuff is now up to 3rd. Tremendous drive from Cuff then. He made a poor start, but then again, starting has not been one of the best features of his year so far. And Cuff is now up to 3rd. Here comes McGarity. Franchitti right behind him once again. There really has been no more than a car's length between these two, race long. Franchitti pulls out. Again, he'll have to go the long way around, but I don't think he's quite close enough this time. And McGarity, I think, perhaps got a few more revs on coming onto the straight that time. He's lost it going around the first corner, though. And Franchitti is right with him again. Any advantage that McGarity had gained, he's lost now. And this could be Franchitti's chance. He looks to the outside. That's not the place to do it again. McGarity guarding that inside line very well. Once again, Franchitti on the outside, no way through there. Now switches to the inside. And again, McGarity has kept that door very firmly closed. And Franchitti will have to keep an eye on his mirrors because the spectre of David Cuff is there. Cuff is now right with Franchitti. And Franchitti will have to be very, very careful about how he tries to find a way past the leader McGarity now. He's being just that, and he's ridden up over the back there of McGarity's car. He goes off into the sand trap, collects it back together, but he'll lose a lot of places as a result of that. And he may indeed have damaged the car. These little Vauxhall Junior cars, though, are very strong indeed. And it doesn't seem to have slowed McGarity at all. Somebody pushing a car out of the way in the background there has had a moment. And is obviously out of the race. The dice now between these two, McGarity and the championship leader, David Cuff. McGarity in front, Cuff in second, Van Buren in third. Alessandrini is now up to fourth, of course, with the demise of Franchitti, and is now challenging Van Buren for that third place. But the question really is, what can Cuff do about McGarity in front of him? Kevin McGarity looks to have this race pretty much sewn up. He knows his way around here. Look at that, Alessandrini there on the inside of Van Buren. They touch there. And Alessandrini moves up to third place now. McGarity knows this place so well. Knows his way around Mondello Park, knows the defensive line. And David Cuff will have to work very hard indeed to find a way past. And indeed, it looks a little bit like Cuff might have resigned himself to that fact, because he's dropped back now from McGarity. Here comes McGarity. Around the final turn and comes up to the start-finish line. Over the line he goes. And onto the final lap. So McGarity now with a fairly comfortable lead by Vauxhall Junior standards anyway. Cuff in second, Alessandrini in third. Fourth place is Van Buren and coming under pressure. And Vignali is in sixth place, and you saw a moment or two ago there that Vignali has lost his nose cone. That won't improve his chances any. McGarity now has around half a lap to go. Cuff, it looks as though he's starting to close in again, but it'll be too late to do anything about this man. Kevin McGarity, and McGarity looks all set to be the first man to win 2 rounds of the Formula Vauxhall Junior Series. Out of the final turn he comes, up towards the line, and takes the checkered flag. A home win then for Kevin McGarity. David Cuff in second place, Alessandrini in third, and fourth place the Mexican driver, Freddie Van Buren. Victory though for McGarity on home ground. McGarity first, Cuff in second, Alessandrini in third, Van Buren in fourth, with Sousa making his way up to fifth, with Marco Vignali in sixth position. Delighted McGarity there, sprays the champagne, and well he might too, because if we take a look at the championship positions, he's now moved up to within 9 points of David Cuff, and is second in the series, 6 points ahead of Marco Vignali.